Good evening. Hello, gentlemen. It is Monday. It is the PlayCallers POD. And as always, I'm always surrounded by the best of the best on a Monday evening. We have Coach Kirk Broussard and Coach Chris Williams, and we got Bobby. Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey, Tracy. How are you?
Good. Good tonight. I'm good.
What you got?
A little cab sav for this evening.
Okay, there you go.
Low sugar because, Chris, I mean, you have been showing us your journey through fitness and you're getting all buff and stuff.
Chris,
So you have been. I had to make sure that I follow suit, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Canada.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, Coach Kirk Broussard, can you hear us?
I can hear everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. I want you to tell me, how was your weekend?
It was great. I'm going to tell you all about it, but let's start off with Chris because I'm going to fix my lighting really quick.
Okay. Well, Chris, tell me, how was your weekend?
Are we just recapping our weekend? What did we
Yes.
do? Weekend was good. You know, this was my youngest son's first 7-on-7 game this weekend because I'm not letting him play tackle football until next year. He's 12 years old, so we'll let him play tackle next year. But he's a quarterback, and I really believe that you can train quarterbacks, and that's the only position that you can really like will your way if you really know what the hell you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, but he had a good game. He threw a couple touchdowns in that game, starting to get some understanding. He did throw a couple pick sixes that we're not happy with, but did that. And I watched the alma mater, Louisiana Monroe, play Jackson State. So and went out for drinks with the wife. So we had a good weekend.
You are a proud daddy tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Well, it sounds like a great weekend. Coach Kirk Broussard, what was your weekend like?
My weekend was spent here at home watching football all weekend. I didn't move.
Wow.
I started off at college football game day at 6 a.m. my time, and I was in front of the television all the way until the Pac-12 games late at night. I have 4 TVs in my man cave, and I have 4 games on at all times.
Well, there's no better way to watch football when you have multiple TVs on.
I had 3 games on. The cartoons were on one game for my kids, on one television for my kids, and I had the games on the other 3 until they went to sleep. Then I had it all on games.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, you know what? My weekend was adventurous. There was a fire down the street. There was, like a big explosion on a place. And unfortunately, yesterday, I did not get a chance to watch a lot of football games because I was at my cousin's funeral. It was a memorial celebration of life because we have all this COVID stuff happening. We're limited for numbers, right? So, but it was beautiful, and it was nice to see photos of her in her Packer gear. Oh, I have to say, I said to my cousin, well played up there because her Packers play tonight.
Yeah.
So she's not missing anything.
Not a thing.
Now, hold on. Let's go back. You said a fire?
Yeah.
Was anyone hurt?
No. Luckily, nobody was hurt. So.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like adventure just follows me around everywhere I go.
That's pretty scary. How big was the fire?
It was pretty big. It was big.
Wow.
It was big. But like honestly, I feel like I could one up the Kardashians with my life.
Really?
Just minus the whole sex tape thing. But
tell us all about it because we got inquiring minds, and
yeah,
that's good for the ratings.
I mean, I had an accidental oops right before we went live with Bobby.
Uh-oh.
I was laughing, and then my button popped open. So, right, Bobby? He was just like, "Oh!"
So, Kirk, we have to give Tracy a show on the, maybe the after hours, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I will. With your night job, Bobby, you're probably immune to that.
Yeah, it's like it's not a shock to me to see that.
I was obviously embarrassed, and I'm like, oh my God, Bobby. And he's like, I didn't see nothing. I was like, oh my God, Bobby, I can't believe we're starting the show off like this. Anyways, Like I said, I could one up the
20 to the team,
Kardashians
Tracy.
any day.
Okay.
But we have headlines to get to. Nobody cares about my life. If you're watching and you have comments, questions, if you agree or if you disagree with the coaches or myself, and you know what, I'm kind of here for the ride this weekend or tonight, because obviously this weekend I didn't get a chance. Hello, Lee. We have a lot of people that are chiming in, a lot of people that are watching. So we want to say thank you very much. There's a lot of headlines to get to for this weekend. So let's start off. So I just want to tell you guys, just so you know, I am sitting at 10 correct for my picks. And one of them, which I got a lot of, because I posted on all my social, on our social as well. A lot of people did not like the fact that I picked the Ravens over KC, over the Chiefs.
That's right. We did not like that. You're right.
Who had a good morning? I had a good morning, besides being tired.
You got lucky on that one.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Yes. But I saw how much so last week everyone kept saying to me, especially on LinkedIn, they're like, why would you go against KC? And I said, listen, if you watch the game, especially at the beginning, they were easily bullied. They were easily dominated, but then they came back. And I thought, you know what? I think the Ravens could do it. So you're right. I got lucky.
I think the Ravens wanted it better because they've been coming up short to KC for a while. Lamar Jackson, he said he wanted to get the monkey off his back.
And he did.
They wanted that game.
Chris, I see you over there. And you're kind of like,
Did you watch the game, Chris?
Yeah, I did. That's really the only NFL I watched in full game I watched yesterday. But, I mean, like you said, I mean, the fumble at the end is really what, changed everything. But I did think Lamar Jackson, man, I mean, that guy, I mean, in a normal situation, I don't think he comes up the way that he did yesterday. But, I mean, he went for over 200 yards passing. He ran the ball well. So, I mean, I thought maybe he's becoming more of a well-rounded guy, man. But because that was like a match, that was a duel, right?
Oh, you gotta watch him. He's grown. Yeah. He's grown with his passing game.
Yeah,
his passing game's grown.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, because he went toe to toe with Mahomes. I mean, they were right there with each other.
Yo,
I mean,
he can spin it.
Yeah,
his throwing motion even looks more confident and a lot better. He's more accurate. Yeah,
people underestimate him.
The thing I like about him, he knows when to get down and save himself. Mm-hmm. He's not like RG3 taking unnecessary shots. RG3 would have lasted longer, if he hadn't taken so many unnecessary shots.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool when you see the coach going, are we going to go for it? Do you want to go for it? Let's go for it. So as a coach, when you saw that moment, coaches, because he was actually asking them, like, do you want to go for it? What do you think? Right?
I think he knew.
As a coach, what did you think?
I think Harbaugh knew he wanted to go for it, but he was just using that as a motivation piece to motivate Lamar.
It was a moment.
Yeah.
And I was even yelling, I'm like, go for it.
He was going to go for it the whole time. But he wanted it's kind of like when you ask your girlfriend, do you love me? You know she loves you, but you want to hear it. You want to hear her say it. And that's pretty much what that was. He wanted to hear from Lamar's mouth. It's kind of like positive affirmations. You speak it and you can achieve it.
Well, you just hope that your girlfriend says, yeah, I love you.
Yeah.
Right. But it was a good game. And I have to say, okay, I love Patrick Mahomes. Okay. Everybody loves him. He's an incredible athlete. He is so inspiring on and off the field. He was actually, Kane Brown was on stage singing Famous Friends, and he came on stage when he was in KC to sing it with them. Mm-hmm. But I have to tell you, there was this moment, and more so because I picked the Ravens and I went against the grain. Like I went against it, and like everyone's going like, this is just some chick she does not know what she is talking about. You guys gave me that look last week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You give it to me quite a bit, but I have to say I was super excited, and I kind of got off on the fact that Mahomes lost last night. 1 point. It was cool.
The thing I
It
like
was a
about
moment.
the thing I like about that Baltimore has evolved, and they've catered the offense to match the strengths of the talent. Greg Roman, who I'm very surprised because I had a chance to work under him in Buffalo, and I just felt like his offense was cut and dry. This is what it is. We're not making any adjustments for our talent, and his offense was super complicated, and I can tell he's simplified a lot of things, which shows his strengths as a coach to make it so Lamar can play a lot faster and not have to think so much.
Yeah, it was a moment.
Because that offense is not what we ran in Buffalo at all. That offense is tailor-made for Lamar Jackson. Because if you look at the offense he had with Tyrod Taylor in Buffalo, completely different. Just more beat from the pocket. The route concepts were a lot more complex, and now it's just everything seems super simplified for Lamar. So,
speaking of Buffalo,
you called it, Tracy.
I will admit what a stupid pick that was to go with Miami. I will admit, for the first time here on the PlayCallers pod, what the hell was I thinking? I actually believed that the Dolphins, they were going to be like, okay, let's prove something, right? Because that was their moment. If they were going to prove something all season, it was going to be at that moment. Yeah, they didn't.
Did you watch it?
No, I got highlights of it because I was busy. Yeah,
I wonder when did Tua go out in that game?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask both of you because Tua got hurt, so I don't know. Maybe somebody would.
Yeah, it was a stupid pick, and you know what? Right now, I'd be sitting with 11 right.
You got 10. You should be happy with it.
Well, I want more. Hey, come on, I'm a female. I'm never happy with what I have. So, yeah, you're not by yourself, Lee says. Yeah, because I remember this conversation last week, Lee. Lee is chiming in right now. I remember even he thought, I believe it was Lee, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know there was a lot of people watching and they were saying the same thing. Miami wants to prove something. So this was going to be the game that they were going to do it. Well, squish the fish. It's out.
I can't believe you went against Buffalo.
I know. I'm so dumb.
You can never come back to the Bills Mafia. You're expelled from Bills Mafia.
No, whatever. Come on. But I've always said from day one, and you guys know I've always been the Bills fan. I've always been an ally. I was like, he's going to be the dude. This is going to be the guy when you guys went up against me. And I know we have footage of this. So we have Jeremy that says, I'm a diehard Dolphin fan. I thought they would at least have had a chance. Yeah, not 35. Yeah. Tell me about it, Jeremy.
Right. He's right.
Yeah. Mark Stone says, oh, my God. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Buffalo's for real.
Keep grinding, family. That's what Phil Franks just said. Gridline. Yeah. Okay. I get it. But you're right. Allen is legit. I've said it from day one. I just thought that if Miami was going to have their moment, because we all need bold picks. You can go safe when you do your picks. And I will admit that was a stupid pick. It wasn't even like that was just a stupid pick. Okay. But whatever. I picked the Ravens. We took that one. So that kind of balances it out.
So does that mean you're not going to pick with Miami anymore? Or was it just stupid for that week? What are you saying?
I think I've squished the fish.
Okay. All right.
I don't. They have a lot of proving to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the guy that's playing tonight. If he doesn't show up tonight and play football like a freaking quarterback, I am done. No more Green Bay. No more. I'm worried. I'm really nervous about tonight.
A lot of America feels the same way about Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna have to produce tonight because he has a lot of people watching his performance. You know, a lot of people think he's tanking the season.
I hope that he takes that elastic out of his man bun because I think that's what was the problem.
What's the tone in Green Bay, Chris?
Yeah,
I mean they all feel the same way. I mean, you should see the streets, man. Since I've driven by Lambeau a couple times today. I mean, the streets people have been drinking since 12 o'clock, man. But the vibe is that this is just what Tracy's saying. I mean, it's amazing to me how people have I don't know what that is. I mean, this dude's got 12 plus years of performance, right? He had one tough outing after. I don't know. If we'll see tonight, we'll see. But
he just needs to focus on what he is supposed to do on the field, what he needs to bring, and not worry about what personnel is doing. I understand his point. I understand it 110%. But he needs to win.
Yeah, he definitely needs to win.
As a coach, how do you sit there and watch your quarterback go out like this? Because I think we can all agree he's probably going to retire. Right? I don't know.
I don't agree with that, but I hear you.
How can he just go out like that? Like, it's reputation. Everything, like, there's all this stuff, and then all people are going to remember is this last part where he didn't show up to play.
You know what? I'm starting to figure Tracy out. It took me a year, right? But I think Tracy, you like the soap opera that goes around the game.
Oh my God, I love it.
And then you intertwine the soap opera with the game, right? So, and we're kind of looking at it through football eyes.
No. Here's the thing. They bring it to the field.
Mm-hmm.
They bring the soap opera. They bring the gossip. They bring the story. They bring the headlines.
Okay.
Come on.
I have a question. So since you're up to date on the gossip of the game, right? That's a good title. That's a good title for the show, the gossip of the game. But anyways, since you're up on top of that, right?
You guys are all drama.
Brittany Renner. Are you familiar with her?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta look this up.
She was just at the Carolina Panthers game scouting out football players. She's already got one basketball player on the hook for child support. And he has a pair like $1 million a month or something crazy. So it was a big news that now she's been going to NFL games trying to hook an NFL player. She's some Instagram model, Brittany Renner.
Are we all Instagram models?
Wow.
I wonder, hey, guys, I wonder if that would be classified as essential travel right now. Next Sunday, you may see me hitting up a sideline too.
Yeah.
How much is she getting a month again?
$1 million a month from a basketball player. So imagine what he makes a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she is smart, and I can't wait for her book to come out.
That's not smart.
I'm just joking. I don't agree with that. I'm only joking with you. But let's go back to the gossip part. Yes, there is gossip. The field is a crowded spot. You have ego, plus the player, plus the coaches, plus all your everyone on the side. You got the water boy that's even bringing something to the table here. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, Rodgers he is more obsessed with the soap opera part of it and getting a headline than playing the game. He is getting paid as a quarterback to play the freaking game. Now let's get out there and stop shitting the bed and let's win a freaking game, because I'm not gonna put him in my pool next week.
Hey, Lee has a great point. Lee has a great point. One of our viewers, Lee, says that Aaron will be traded to New Orleans. I can definitely see that.
Really?
Yeah, I can see that as a destination desire for him to be with Sean Payton. That'd be a great. Well, match.
They didn't. Let's talk about the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints dropped. The Saints fell off the map.
Like, there's no words. I was not expecting that when I was looking at the highlights.
I don't know.
I'll just quickly look up what the final was, but I just remember thinking, hey, I did speak to Mike, and I don't know if he's watching right now. He covers for the Saints, Mike Detillier, and I actually messaged him. I was like, well,
yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? Because I don't think anybody. It was 26-7. 26-7. Have you ever seen a game like this by the Saints? Any of you?
No, not in a long time. Jameis looked like the old Jameis.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a Saints fan all my life, so I've seen some craziness happen in New Orleans, right? But it's just a week. I mean, we're missing our top wide receiver. Jameis, I mean, consistency isn't going to come, forever overnight. I mean, he's going to work himself into it. I thought he had a great start. we got to give him a little room for the back track, and then get back on track again moving forward. I think Jameis is going to be fine. I mean, I don't even think there's going to be a need to go and get an Aaron Rodgers type. I really think Jameis is going to finish this, on a high note. I mean, he had a setback, but at the same time, I think he's got a heart, and I think he'll bounce back strong from it.
I think after week one, Carolina. Well, first of all, Carolina is a well-coached team.
Mhm.
Matt Rule, if you look at his track record, everywhere he's been, they play good defense.
Mhm.
They've always been a sound football team.
Mhm.
He surrounds himself with good assistant coaches. They're very thorough. Matt Rule, it wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Coach. I told you, Sam Darnold, under a good coaching staff that can develop him, can be an above-average quarterback. And he looked. Did you watch the game? He looked all world.
I watched him closely last week. I didn't watch him this week, but
He looked great this week.
Yeah.
I did get a notification on my pool that said there was an alert. There was a lot of COVID cases
Mhm.
with personnel and coaches for the Saints, and basically telling me I should change my pick. Right? I did not, because I'm like, oh no, we'll be fine. We should be fine. But a lot of people are saying, I know we've had a few people here just mention it as well on the bottom here, saying that there was a lot of coaches, there was a lot of people on the sidelines that weren't there. So there's my question to you, for you, both of the coaches here for this evening. When the player doesn't have that constant space that they're constantly seeing and working with, can that really mess them up on the sideline? Like, are we using this as an excuse to say, okay, the Saints didn't show up, there was a lot of problems because, a lot of people had COVID, whichever, this and that?
I think it affects the continuity of the team, because a lot of times assistant coaches have free reins to make substitutions at will. And if you don't have that assistant coach that is making the right substitutions for the right situation, for the right concept at that time, it can affect the flow. It can affect the flow of the offense, and it can affect the effectiveness of the defense. So I think it does make a big difference. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, it makes a big difference, no doubt about it. I mean, I hear people all the time say that. I like, I'm gonna jab Nick Saban in here, but people always say, well, hey, Alabama would win no matter who the coach was. They got all the best players and all that kind of stuff. But the coaching and the structure of coaches, what coaches bring to not only the preparation week, but the game flow of the game day itself, all that stuff makes a difference. So if you're without people, people are there for a reason, right? If you two guys were gone, one of you were gone, I'd feel lost right now. So when people are gone, it makes a difference. And so for that team to go, and we have evidence of what we saw the first week from the Saints. So let's not forget what we saw. So we saw them at full strength do what they did to Green Bay. This happened. We have no choice but to give them next week when they get full guns loaded again, and see what happens next week before we give up on them.
Oh, I'm not going to give up on them. I'm a big fan. Who dat? Because you know what? That was the last football game that I saw when I was in Tampa, right before the whole world shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see Breeze play. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I was in Tampa. I saw them play. It was amazing. But yeah, no, I get it. But being so early in the season, so would we say that that they're like a surprise team? I think everyone was shocked. We'll just leave it at that one. But
I think the Panthers are a playoff team.
Coach, I'm gonna give you credit right now for Donald. I'm not gonna take credit away from you on that. It looks like you're right now. I'm gonna give you credit for where we stand today, and I think we'll, once the rubber meets the road for the rest of the season, we'll see how that plays out. But got to give you credit for that.
I like Sam Darnold out of college. I never thought he was going to be some perennial all-star, but I thought he could be an effective, good starter on the level with maybe like a Boomer Esiason. Maybe make a few Pro Bowls. It's just when you go to the New York Jets these days, it's like a death sentence. No one gets developed with the New York Jets. That from the front office to the new coaching staff. One thing I do is when they draft a quarterback, I go and look to see who's the quarterback coach to get an indicator on how well that guy's going to get developed. And I felt like Sam Darnold didn't stand a chance. And now I think he has a legitimate chance to salvage his career and be a effective starter. I don't think he's going to be all world, but I think he could be a playoff quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be in the category of Teddy Bridgewater. How about that?
I think I think it could be a little bit better than Bridgewater.
Okay. No.
Okay, let's quickly just go back to the Lions and the Packers tonight. Coaches, who are you picking?
Picking the Packers myself. I mean, I think they're going to bounce back strong. I think people have pride in that building. I think you're going to see a strong effort tonight against Detroit.
The man knows where his feet are at. He's in Green Bay. He's got to pick Green Bay.
Hey, man, when we get off, I'm going down there and walk around a little bit tonight, too. See if I can get a couple
Go live for us,
okay.
Please.
Yeah, go live. Go live.
Go live. Start asking some fans their thoughts on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Report live from the stadium because I know it's still early, but man, I really hope that Rodgers shows up because I'm telling you.
You live that close to the stadium?
Coach, I'm across the bridge, but it'll take me 10 minutes to get down there. I'm just going to go down and have a couple of beers and experience the atmosphere, right?
I'm sorry, Tracy. What were you saying?
If he doesn't bring his A game tonight, I'm going to go there myself. And I'm going to whoop his ass. I'm going to cut his hair. I'm going to. Oh.
That's the problem. The hair. The hair's throwing his game off.
I think so. Well, I've said that. I've said that from day one. I'm like, does he have his man bun too tight? What's going on?
Yeah.
Maybe he needs a Head and Shoulders endorsement. I don't know.
Maybe it's his girlfriend.
A little just for men dye.
Yeah, well, I know we spoke about that last week, the curse of the girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes who have their significant other, their partners, their fiancés, their wives show up on game days or just even being affiliated with them, they lose.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm playing a game, I'm going to be honest with you. If I was a pro athlete and my significant other every time showed up and I lost, see ya. Goodbye.
See ya in the relationship, or she can't come to the games anymore.
No. Cut it off. See ya.
Wow.
Sounds like a ending to the relationship.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? You guys would do the same thing if a significant other kept coming and they jinxed you, or even just since you've been with them. Come on. Don't make me out to be like such a bad person.
So who is this girlfriend? Catch me up.
She's an actress.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
She's an actress. But yeah, they're asking for Olivia Munn to come back because I guess he was really good with her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we'll leave that one there. I mean, Rodgers has to prove himself. If we're going to keep talking about him, he's got to prove himself soon. So
it's going to happen tonight. That's for sure.
Yes. Okay. So we just have something popping up on the screen. Aaron Rodgers looks like Nicolas Cage playing Aaron Rodgers in the movie about Tom Brady.
Wow.
And the funny fact is that Tom Brady's older than Aaron Rodgers.
He needs to get married. That'll bring focus to his game.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to settle down and get married.
Marriage is not the answer to everything.
Well,
marriage turns into divorce. Divorce turns into bitterness.
The first few years of marriage will be good, but
gotta love the honeymoon stage. Well, if it is destiny for Aaron Rodgers, he will get married, and we wish him all the best. And you know what? I do have faith in him. I did pick the Packers this evening, so I do have faith that he will show up. I think the first week was his. That was his moment. He was proving a point, right? He was just being Aaron. But I think that there's too much on the line for him to shit the bed any longer. So we'll just, amen, said Lee.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. I believe in him.
Jordan Love.
Let's do it. Or I'll be hopping on a live first thing tomorrow morning, and you'll be hearing a lot from me when it comes to Aaron Rodgers if he does not show up tonight. But anyways, let's move on. Any other games that you guys want to talk about? Something that stuck with you? Any shockers for week 2?
Well, the Seahawks are losing. That was a shocker for me.
That was the first one. Was it the first home game that he's lost?
They're getting off to a bad start. I did not think they would lose at home. That's a tough place to play. And that game came down to the wire. But at the end of the day, I think whoever goes up and plays with Russell Wilson, he makes receivers better. If you think about it, they've drafted some low-round receivers and some free agent receivers that he's just made to either look like solid receivers or Pro Bowl receivers. So I think I'm surprised that Russell Wilson got off to a bad start. So I'm hoping he can rebound. I like the Seahawks a lot. I like the structure of their team.
Coach Chris Williams, what did you think of this week's games? Any highlights? Anything that's just sticking out with you?
No, I mean, I would say I'm surprised that the Seahawks lost too, just like Coach is saying. But I would imagine you're probably going to say that because his wife Sierra was at the game is why he lost. So he probably needs to.
Okay, did you guys see her at the Met Gala?
Of course we did. Of course.
In her outfit.
Mhm.
I saw the photos of it.
Representing. Woo!
I just didn't think Tennessee could go up to Seattle and beat them. I didn't think they had enough offensive.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, Derrick Henry had a game of a lifetime, right? I mean, he's good. He's good. Don't get us wrong, but the game he had, I mean, 3 touchdowns, over 180 yards. I mean, he was on fire, and that comes after only having 30 yards a week before. So
yeah, he's up and down.
He's definitely up and down. So,
making a headline like in the last 24 hours or so, Richard Sherman. I want to get the coach's perspective on this one. I mean, we all heard about what had happened with him. You know, he was on some domestic violence charges. He was arrested. He was breaking into the in-laws' house. And I remember one of you guys saying, well, was he really breaking in, or was that his house that he bought for them?
It's probably in his name.
Right? And when you said that, I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. Like, I get it. Now, it looks like the Bucs are interested in him. Do you guys think that that's a good fit? Or I feel like Tom Brady is like the rehab center for everybody. He's just bringing everybody in, and he's like, you know what? I believe in you. You're going to do this. You're coming back. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? Where do you think Richard Sherman would best be suited?
Coach, I think Tampa Bay works for him. I mean, if it worked with Antonio Brown, it could work with Richard Sherman. I think people respect Tom Brady so much. I mean, and you know, let's just be honest. I mean, NFL teams, regardless of what they say, I mean, we all talk about character and we want high character and we want, you know, but at the end of the day, character only matters until we just need a guy, right? So then when we need a guy, then we make a reason to figure this out. So I think, you know, they probably need the help in the defensive backfield if they want to take that, you know, that next step defensively. So they need the help. I think Sherman fits in well with you know, the rehabbing of guys that have had issues, putting them around Brady. So I think that works. That's probably one of the only few teams right now that could make that work right now. So why not?
I like Brady right now, just so you know.
Really?
Coach Kirk Broussard, what are your thoughts on Richard Sherman? We all make mistakes, okay? So I'm not judging him on his personal life, okay? I you know, we'll talk about him as an athlete. Where do you think that he would be best situated and suited? Do you feel like he should be a Buck player?
I think it's a great fit for him. It's the locker room. It's a veteran locker room. I think they've done their due diligence on him to see if he still has enough juice left in the tank. Bruce Arians is probably going to make phone calls and say, you know, can this guy help us? He has so many friends around the league. I think they're going to bring him in with a contract with low guarantees. So if it doesn't work out, they can just ship him out of there with no problem. I don't think he's some head case in the same ballpark, in the same category with Antonio Brown. I think he probably he's a very emotional guy. We all know that about him. I think he just made a bad decision. And by him being Richard Sherman, it was magnified in the news because they called the cops on him. I think we've all probably done something similar to that. I know I have. And the cops just didn't get called on me, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make me a bad guy? You know, no.
So are you expecting him, coaches, to come back more low key? Because remember, he was pretty out there, pretty aggressive on that field, and he wanted to make sure he was seen, he was heard, he was everything.
You would hope he's smart enough to try to fly under the radar, and get him a ring.
Yeah.
You can tell he really wants a ring.
Yeah,
Another ring.
And he has an incredible backstory as well. If you've ever dove into his family life, it's an incredible story as well.
I know if he graduated from Stanford, he must be a smart guy.
Yeah,
definitely a smart guy. I mean, I know a lot of good guys that have made one mistake that puts them in jail for life. Right? You don't have to make but one. So no,
Yeah.
he's not a serial killer. But he's proven that he can be volatile. Right? I mean, ask Aaron Andrews, about that. Ask Michael Crabtree. I mean, this guy, he's got some stuff with him that you want to make sure that you can manage that in the locker room.
Yeah.
I do think they can manage that with
maybe Richard Sherman would be good over here with the CFL. I mean, look at Ocho Cinco.
Coach, you've been in a lot of locker rooms.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to DBs, they're emotional. They talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And with him and Crabtree, that's all that was. He's that DB that talks the whole damn time on the field. That's DBs.
Yeah. But if you're not that kind of a team, if that's not what you have now, then it's tough to just drop that guy in the mix. So I mean, but I think he would be a good guy if he got around Brady.
I think he'll fit in Tampa. He wouldn't be a good fit somewhere like New England, but he would fit. I think he's going to fit in Tampa.
I think Tom Brady would be a really good big brother to him. Brady seems to be the guy that is taking, like we talked about Brown, and he's really mentoring these guys to get back on track so that they can have a career. Right? He's really mentoring them. And that's why I kind of liking Brady a little bit. I can't believe I'm saying that. But anyways, we'll move on. We don't want to stay on that for too long. Let's talk about
Brady's the OG. Brady's the OG.
Yeah.
They respect
Brady.
Yeah.
Listen.
Damn it.
I'm going to say one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
The moment when Ray Lewis tried to intimidate Brady and Brady got right back in his face, I knew Brady was an OG.
Yeah. Did you see Lewis on the field last night? He was dancing.
No, I didn't see it. I bet he was
some moves. Woo!
He had something to celebrate because the Miami Hurricanes looked horrible.
Yeah. Let's rank our rookie quarterbacks. What do you guys think? Jones, Lawrence, Fields. We have. What do you guys think? You guys have been watching this. Coaches, tell me. We have a lot of rookies for quarterbacks this season. What do you think? What are you seeing? Because we've always said you see things, I see things very differently. You guys are coaches. I want your perspective because most of the time I'm just drinking beer and eating food.
I think it's too early to tell. We've only played a couple games. I mean, right now, all I can see is judge what I think is ability to play the position. I mean, I still, when I watch Zach Wilson, move around in the pocket and athletically do some of the things that he does. He pops off the screen to me way more than Sam Darnold ever popped off the screen. So I think they got a better player in Zach Wilson. I agree with Coach when it comes to, the Jets being a place where quarterbacks go die, right? But I think, I do believe Zach Wilson's got more ability at this level than any of the other three. I mean, now Lawrence is, people have ordained Lawrence to be the most talented of the three of the four, but I think Zach Wilson's got some stuff to him. So we got to see him play some more games before we talk about what's happening with each individual team.
If I were ranking them based on performance thus far, I would. I mean, you got to say Mac Jones has been the best so far. But if I were ranking them in the long term, I would probably go Lawrence, Jones, Fields, Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sold on Wilson at all. I'm still not completely sold on Justin Fields. I'm not. And I think right now Mac has been the better of the two, but I think Lawrence has a bigger upside. So I go Lawrence, Jones, Fields, Wilson.
Okay.
Too early.
Well, yes, because we've talked about it being only week 2. We've talked about it being preseason, and we see a lot of peacocks on that field. They're all out there spreading their wings, and they want to look pretty, and they want to do this, and they want to be seen. And then come week 4, boom, what happens? They've lost their drive, and we see the real player. So, yeah, I believe, you know what? is early, but I mean, you never know. Maybe everyone is bringing their A game. Okay, what about Cam Newton? Do you think he's going to get a call from the Steelers at the Big Ben after the Big Ben big performance?
Not from the Steelers.
You don't think he's going to go to the Steelers?
Nah. I don't think Mike Tomlin needs that in the locker room.
Is Cam Newton just done? Is he just a headline? Like, do you think we're going to see him back out there? Because we've talked about this before. He's not going to be a backup. He's not going to be a princess. He wants to be a queen. Okay? Like,
wow.
Sorry. I didn't mean to hurt his feelings on that one, but
he's probably not going to come back up anyone. He has too much pride.
No, you're not
so
going to see him at
would you give up your career because you just don't want to be a backup? Like, that's it?
I think if he wasn't so flamboyant, he would have gotten a call by now.
I mean, did you guys see the interview with him and his dad? And I watched every minute of that. I mean, I think he gave us some insight there. I mean, so I think he's got a point of view on this whole New England thing, and I think if we stop and think, he's making some sense with that. But I also don't think that a team that makes the playoffs every year is not going to be a team that picks them up. It's going to be one of these desperate teams that just needs a splash, just needs some kind of a push. I mean, so I think he'll get back in, but it's going to happen after when you start seeing the 0-6s and the 1-5s. That's when you'll see somebody pick him up.
It might happen. It might happen with the Lions after this Lions game.
Yeah, you never know. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Even Lee just said, as we said at the same time, he was like, right. Yeah. I am a little worried about tonight's game. I'm not going to lie. Will I stay up really late to watch it? I mean, we all know my early call time. I got to get up at 3:45 in the morning here. Mm-hmm. But like last night, I did stay up, and I'll stay up again tonight.
I know you will.
That's the good thing about radio. Nobody sees you. So
coffee is your friend.
What's that?
Coffee is your friend.
Oh my gosh. I go and get 2 extra large coffees. I probably need one now. And I get a shot of espresso in them. And I'll tell you, some days I think that the ladies, I love them to death that make the coffee when I go on the corner where I work. Sometimes I feel like they're messing with me and they're giving me decaf. And they're listening to the radio going, ha, we could tell. She got the decaf one. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I love it. I have to watch it. There's certain games you just can't get a replay. You can't just do highlights. So, I'm not sure what we're going to see from Cam Newton. We did talk about the Steelers, but do you feel like they should be in panic mode right now? Again, week 2. But when you think of, we keep saying, oh, it's only the beginning of the season. It's only the beginning of the season. But how many times can you mess up and not win or do all these mistakes and it catches up with you? And then you get to a point where it's like, man, maybe we should have come on hard at the beginning.
This is a different situation though, because we've been watching Ben Roethlisberger for over a decade, right? I mean, so it's not quite the same. You can't just focus on the early part of the season, because this was a trigger that should have been pulled, maybe as much as 3 years ago when you start talking about the decline of Ben Roethlisberger, right? So I mean, so now, because they do such a good job of respecting people and their personnel and their coaches, they don't ruffle any feathers. They let people go and they keep people there. But Ben Roethlisberger's succession plan should have been put in place 3 years ago. So now here we are watching a guy who really has, his genetics may not be the same as Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's really looking like that old school guy that needs to retire at 36, right? So I mean, I think they put themselves in this spot. I think they should be in panic mode, because when you look around, there's no quarterback in place that's going to be ready to take this over. So I mean, if I were them, those guys, I'd be in panic mode right now.
Yeah, they should have drafted his successor at least this year or 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. They should have been grooming a successor. I thought they would draft Kyle Trask and let him sit behind Ben for a year and be ready to somebody they could have picked up in the second round and groomed, but they did not do that, which is surprising because they've always been an organization that have kind of thought ahead. And now I'm saying T.J. Watt got hurt, so I don't. He's going to be ready to go next week. They just gave him a lot of money, and now he's not going to be on the field. Possibly, I don't know how serious that is, but I would be in panic mode if I were Pittsburgh.
Week 2, you feel like they need to be in panic mode, eh?
I think they need to be in panic mode because of the quarterback. He can't make a lot of the throws that he used to make. He's got that Drew Brees arm now.
Yeah.
And it's funny listening to Drew Brees now that he's retired, talking about his team, like talking about the Saints, right?
Yeah.
Now we've talked about Brady a lot, so he leads Tampa Bay to another win, another victory. He wants it. It's Brady. Who's going to go up against him? Do you think he's ever going to have a bad game? What I've noticed about him is when he goes and he sits down and he's doing one of these, he starts thinking. He has something brewing.
Yeah. I mean, how could anybody? I'm sorry to talk over you, Coach, but how could anybody have thought that this wouldn't happen, right? I mean, those guys were just starting to hit stride at Super Bowl time last year, and then you give them a whole off season with Brady, and man, I mean, these dudes are on to something, and it's going to be fun for everybody to watch, and it's going to be a minute before Brady turns over his grip on this thing. So yeah, they're getting better every day. They're getting better every game and every week. So this is going to be nice for Tampa Bay.
I guess fine, whatever. Okay. Now I want to know, coaches, MVP predictions. A lot of people are predicting Mahomes. Obviously, we've seen him. We've seen him evolve. There's no doubt. We can't even really say that. Lamar Jackson. I know Kyler Murray. Who are you going? Josh Allen. Yep. He's mad at me because I didn't pick him last week. So who do you guys, what are your picks for MVP when we talk about predictions? Coach Kirk Broussard, please let me know.
I'm going to stick with what I said a few weeks ago, which was Chase Young. I think it's going to be a defensive guy this time. So I like Chase Young. I think he's going to lead the league in sacks.
Okay. Coach Chris Williams.
Well, my first thought tells me Tom Brady, but my gut and my hope is that it's Kyler Murray. I think what he's doing in Arizona is really amazing. The way this is starting to come together for him and Barry. So I think Kyler Murray, if he stays on this pace, he got to be right there with everybody else.
Yeah, and I remember last season we were talking about him a lot. No surprise for MVP predictions. Mahomes, I think Mahomes is a great athlete. I will never ever say he is not. I mean, he's earned it, he's done it, he's what I would like to see somebody else. So just saying. But Tom Brady, who knows when he's going to retire? I know everyone's been joking a lot this week about him retiring when he's 50. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it. It's going to be Tom Brady. Let's just admit it. It's going to be Brady. He will play until he can't play anymore, and he's got a body of a 20-year-old. His internal clock is like a 20-year-old.
Gisele's not going to let him play that long. No.
Do you think that she has a say, though?
He said she has a say. He said it. She's the boss.
Yeah, okay. In the public, when the camera's on, she's the boss.
Yeah, she's probably helping him with those HGH needles at home. So
yeah.
So he's gonna.
There you go. Him and LeBron, miracle babies.
Yeah, no kidding. Pass that over here, please. Okay, gentlemen. Like I said, I kind of had a busy weekend. I did have college on. It was kind of in the background. But Alabama, Florida, gentlemen.
How did you miss that game, Tracy?
Well,
that was the game.
I know.
I was worried. That's for sure.
I wanted to text Coach, but I was.
Yes, because this is more like you. This is the two of you right now.
Well, that's his favorite team against my favorite team.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was like head to head, and I felt like I was like the child in custody, like in the middle of everything, and I just felt like I couldn't choose. I couldn't watch because I was going to piss someone off.
Alabama was a 15-point favorite in that game.
Okay, but you can't. Okay, stats are stats. You really cannot pick a game anymore on stats. I'm sorry, you can't.
No, you can't.
Alabama just rolls over everybody. They thought they would do the same thing to Florida.
I mean, I'm an objective coach. I mean, I still say if you play the other kid, then we lose that game, man.
I'm telling you, Coach. I'm telling you, he is a difference. Did you go watch him? Did you go watch his tape?
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of the show.
Listen, I think Florida didn't play their best game that game. You probably think Alabama didn't play their best game.
No, they didn't. But
the refs were very involved in that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that Anthony Richardson would have been the difference.
He would have been the difference.
You know, I don't know. I just think that Florida being ranked at a number 11 is a joke. The way they played Alabama, Florida's definitely at least a top 10 team. Yeah. You just can't deny that, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, you had the wrong guy out there, man. I mean, that's just all to it. And that's what hurts me the most because I know, I mean, if I'm being honest about it, I know they were just one personnel move away from being able to beat us. So I don't know how confident I'm feeling right now to being able to say that, right? So, but yeah, Five just played. I mean, five so up and down, man. I mean, he kept us in the game in so many moments.
Yeah,
it kind of was what it was.
Yeah. And then, when Florida dropped the defensive end, and the defensive end had that pick in his hand that he dropped, that could have been a difference maker. Yeah, it's so many things. I think Alabama, everybody ignores the fact they lose all these first round picks. They feel like Alabama's just automatically supposed to reload. And yeah, they do reload, but maybe they're not going to be on the level they were last year. They're still going to be a top 5, top 4 team. They're probably still a playoff team, but maybe they took a step back because they lost some dogs from last year. So I don't know. What do you think about this? I think there's an excellent chance that game is rematched again in the SEC championship. Because with TJ Daniels at quarterback with Georgia, with a healthy Anthony Richardson, I think Florida beats Georgia.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. My only thing is I just don't know what Mullins is waiting on, man. I mean, because if he doesn't make that move, you're gonna still get to the SEC championship either way. You know what I mean? So 5 stays, you make it to the championship. But if he puts Richardson in, man, you could win a national championship. I just don't know what he's waiting on with that one.
Yeah. He's holding him back, man. That kid's a potential Heisman Trophy winner. The thing that scares me about Georgia is you got Smart. I got to give him his credit. He knows defense, and then you got Will Muschamp and Smart putting their heads together on that Georgia defense. Georgia defense has looked better than I've ever seen it look. My question is, can they put up points with JT Daniels against a reputable opponent?
So, the Packers game has started. Anybody got on? Anybody watching it? Because I just pulled up. Yeah. Well, it's already 7-0 for the Lions.
Okay. All right.
Wow. Lions blood.
I'm going to pack a bag and hop on the next flight, and I'm going to go whoop some ass over there. What the hell? He better do good.
I'll pick you up at the airport.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up the show. Let's get it going so we can go.
Okay, guys, let's get to the game. As always, it was a pleasure. It's a Monday night, the PlayCallers POD. Chris, if you're heading down, do some footage, go live, send us some video, get some fan feedback as to what is going on. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. We'll get our picks for week 3 up, and we'll see.
I need to do that, yeah.
Yes, so have a good night. Enjoy the game. Good night, Coach Kirk, Broussard, Chris Williams. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks,
guys.
Bye. Bye, Bobby.